What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is match preview time. Leeds United could be promoted by the end of play Monday. Can it happen? Oh, it can happen. It can happen, but we got to do our job. As we keep saying, job's not finished, but it feels awfully close, doesn't it, people? But look, before I get into it, also going to speak about Manor Solomon in this video and what I would do with him come the summer. I think it's pretty obvious what I do, but I'll give my thoughts in full. Before I do, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop your score predictions and thoughts below, and we'll get into this right now. Let's go, man. No time to waste. By the way, for the wrestling fans that do watch the channel, give me your thoughts on night one in the comments below and what you're looking forward to for night two. Let's go dirty down for that Intercontinental title. Yeah. But listen, before that, sorry, I should say after that, we have got it's so important on Monday. We could have this wrapped up. We do our jobs against Stoke City. It's over to Burnley and Sheffield United. And quite frankly, I mean, football's a funny game. We know that anything can happen, but it's on Sheffield United to go to Burnley and get a win. It's all the pressure is on Sheffield United to win this game. And if Burnley do something for the first time this season for me, which is uncharacteristic, and that's, fumble, I'd be very, very surprised. We even just saw in the last game, 1-0 down, they still come back to do the job. That's what they do. They're just efficient. They're just an efficient football club, and that's why they're joint up with us. For Sheffield United, they're going to have to go there and win. And that, for me, that plays into Burnley's hands. It just plays into them perfectly for them to be hit on the break, 1-0 up, and then shut that shop down. That's what Burnley do. So for me, I mean, we got to do our job first against Stoke, but Sheffield United got a big, big task on their hand. And what a fixture for us to watch after ours, hopefully after 3 points, and then just enjoy it and see if we're promoted. Now, listen, people, match reaction will be live after the game, as always. I will also be live after Burnley Sheffield United, regardless. So stay tuned to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm going live and we can celebrate together. But we've got a job to do, and that's against Stoke. And look, people, Stoke, they've won 3 in the last 5, and that is good for them. But I think they're now safe from relegation. They're not getting promoted. They're, deep in mid-table, waiting for the season to end. It's on us to take it to Stoke City, get the 3 points, not let them enjoy their day out, not let them play spoiler, and get the 3 points. And I think we are more than capable of doing it. I think the last 3 games, the last 3 wins have shown a different side of Leeds United, especially after that real rocky form of patch of form that we was in. And I think that we are more than capable of getting the job done tomorrow. And for me, the lineup, it doesn't change in the main. There's no point changing the lineup now. If everyone's in the green zone to play, if no one's in danger of being injured, put your best team out that we've got. Now, I know a few of you have talked about Verba. Listen, I'd agree. I would like to probably see Ampadu go in there and get Gruev, back on the bench just for later in the game. But the facts are Verba hasn't played. Like, he's been on the bench, but he hasn't even been used as a sub, which tells me he's either half still injured or he's not trusted to start a game. So it's a pointless point talking about Max Verba now. Just, I would say, let it go. Go with the team that has won the last 3 games in the main, obviously with a couple of changes, because up front, I would stick with Peru. I don't think there's any point changing that. No matter what, Joseph hasn't even been in the conversation, which is something. And of course, Bamford is nowhere near fit enough to start, no matter how much some of you want it. So stick with Peru. He could even break his duck tomorrow. He's on a barren run. He could break it tomorrow against Stoke City. But for me, Dan James comes back in. Willie Gnonto, unfortunately, hasn't done enough to keep that spot. And if Dan James isn't fit enough to play the whole 90, which I don't think he will be, then obviously I think he'll bring on his next trusted lieutenant now, which out of nowhere is Isaac Schmidt. And Isaac Schmidt can take over on the right-hand side. I would have put Gnonto in the 10, but this is the problem with the 10 that we've got. And listen, goes without saying, you don't win any prize points for saying we need to sort out the 10 position in the summer. Honestly, it's obvious, but it just shows you that Gnonto hasn't grabbed his opportunity. Aronson, for me, is still not doing like he was in the first half of the season where he was a real difference maker. But just go with him in this one. It's a coin flip, basically. It's a coin flip, but I think Aronson will keep the shirt for this one. Solomon stays on the left. That goes without saying. We're going to speak about him in just a moment. And like I say, Peru up front. And with this team, if this is the team in the main, I'm going with a 2-0 win. It could be nervy at Ellen Road because of what's at stake, but it could also be bouncing because of what's at stake. And I hope it's the latter, because when it's bouncing, it's one of the best places to be in terms of just a football atmosphere. So let's get the job done at 3 o'clock and sit back and watch Burnley Sheffield United slug it out. Well, more Sheffield United slug it out. They'll be huffing and puffing. But listen, speaking of Manor Solomon on the left, just got to say this. My opinion has not changed, and there's been reports recently about Leeds United going for him in the summer. Obviously, all depends on promotion. I think that just fairly obvious. But Manor Solomon for me has been one hell of a difference maker. Dan James has been more consistent over the course of the season, but since Manor Solomon came in, after fitness issues, after a couple of performance issues, which was very obvious after the injuries that he's had, and it was about him getting his fitness. Since he's made that shirt his own on the left, though, he's been one of our best players. Barring a 3, maybe 4 game spell where he went a bit quiet, he has been a real difference maker. The players that's created the most big chances for us, and it's not even close as well. He's just that you can see the way he plays the game, and it's hard to explain in just words, but you can see he is a top level player. Now, there's been reports that we're going to be going in for him in the summer, and that Leeds United believe we can get him for a fee of around 20 million. His contract does expire in 2028, so Tottenham do have quite a bit of leverage there in terms of his contract being pretty long term. But he's not in favor there, and much like Joe Rodon, maybe we can get him for a good price. And for me, 20 million, if you're talking 20 million, you absolutely get Manor Solomon. Absolutely. He would be a difference maker on the wing where we're going to be in the league. We're going to need him, a player like him. And with him already being at the club, with him already being, settled at the football club, that's big plus points rather than going for someone that needs time to settle in and everything else like that. We've already got him. So it all depends on Leeds United and Manor Solomon, because Tottenham will want to drive the price up, and what they'll want with that is a bidding war. And let's face it, I've told you this before, and it's facts. It's not opinion, it's a fact. When you do well at this football club, you will get eyes on you. Look at the money we made last year from championship players: Somerville, Jorginho, Archie Gray. You think other clubs in the championship are doing that kind of business unless they've been relegated, and those players have got a track record in the Premier League? They're not. You know what I mean? It's because it's Leeds United, because it's big business, always big eyes on us. You get noticed, and that's what Tottenham will be hoping with Manor Solomon. Much like with Joe Rodon, actually, where Premier League teams didn't want Joe Rodon, but he said, "No, I want Leeds." Jaden Bogle, Sheffield United to Leeds. They did not want to sell him to us, but Jaden said, "I want Leeds United." We're going to need that from Manor. But the thing is with footballers, money and opportunity, I've said it before, are their two favorite things. And Manor Solomon has probably played himself into a couple of Premier League teams or maybe even European teams' eyes and gone, "Hey, this guy, he's fit again. He's doing what he used to do before his big injuries. Let's go and get him." And what we want now is Solomon to say, "No, I want to go to Leeds United. I want to play in the Premier League," which was always his main aim, if you remember, which is why he stayed in England. He wants to stay in England eyes, in Premier League teams' eyes, which is why he stayed in England. I want to do it with Leeds United. You know what I mean? If Fulham came in for him where he had a good spell before, that's where it could get tricky. If it's a London club, but I'm hoping with him being settled here that we can get a deal done. And it's always more likely if a player says, "No, I want this move," you can get it for the fee that you're hoping. Now, listen, 20 million for me is an absolute sweet spot for a player. I think that's always a good deal to make. But if we had to, and I mean had to go up to 25, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. And up to 25 would be add-ons, of course. But what say you people? Would you sign up Manor Solomon permanently in the summer? Or do you have an eye on somebody else that you feel that could fill that spot on the left? For me, he's answered my questions. I always said he had the quality. That was never the question for me. Please go back to when we signed Manor Solomon. It was always going to be about his fitness. And he's proved this season that he's back. He's back, and he's more than dependable. More than dependable. And we're going to need players like this for where we're going to be in the Premier League next season if we go up. Now, people, that's it for the preview. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give me your thoughts on the game, Manor Solomon as well. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Interested to hear, like I say, your night 2 for WrestleMania predictions as well. If you watch, if you don't comment. Simple. All right. No one says anything about you watching Coronation Street or EastEnders, which is also fictional. All right. So listen, people, like the video before you go, and I will see you after the game. The video will be in one of these two corners. Click it, like it, and set the reminder, and you can join me after the game tomorrow afternoon. Peace out, people. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.